Hello everyone. Today we'll be looking at the Itinerant Placement Services for students with special needs. Let us look at the definition of the educational placement model. So the Itinerant Services Educational Placement Model refers to a flexible service delivery approach with special educators such as special education teachers, speech special therapists, or other service providers travel between multiple schools or locations to support students with disabilities or special needs in their least restricted environment. This model ensures that students receive individualized support while remaining in the general education settings as much as possible. So these trained specialists enter these schools or classrooms, right? They assist students with special needs based on their disabilities. They are trained to create a plan as well to ensure documentation and smooth transition as they interact with students with disabilities. Characteristics of the model: Itinerant Services Educational Placement Model is a service delivery approach where specialized educators such as special education teachers or therapists travel between multiple educational settings to provide support to students with disabilities within their regular classrooms. This model emphasizes inclusion, allowing students to remain in the general education environment while receiving necessary specialized services. So within these classroom settings, you will have these specialized individuals coming into the school and working with students with disabilities. Despite the students' challenges, they are not segregated because it's all about inclusivity. So they work with them within the space accordingly. International characteristics. We have a consultative and collaborative approach. The itinerant educators often function as consultants and coaches, working directly with a child's primary caregivers, including classroom teachers and parents, to support the child's inclusion in community-based programs. This approach moves beyond the direct service provision to empower those who interact daily with the child. Flexibility in service delivery. The itinerant model allows special education services to be brought to young children in community programs such as private schools, child care service centers, or Head Start classrooms. This flexibility ensures that services are catered. This flexibility ensures that services are tailored to the child's natural learning environment. So, in these classrooms, these specialized teachers or itinerant educators will come into the schools and they will utilize or have the student or the child that expresses challenges, compile activities that cater to the child's natural environment to ensure that the learning process is supported as well as having them in comfort. Support for diverse disabilities. Itinerant teachers provide instruction and consultation for students with various disabilities, including those who are deaf or hard of hearing, ensuring they receive appropriate support within general education settings. So, the itinerant educators not only cater to one group of students that experience disabilities, but for diverse disabilities and those with special needs. For example, the deaf or hard of hearing as well as physical disabilities, etc. Let us look at some local characteristics within the Jamaican diaspora. We have resource room integration in Jamaica. Itinerant services are integrated into the resource programs where student visits to resource rooms are not scheduled daily. practical beneficial in rural areas with small schools where a single resource teacher may serve multiple schools visiting each on alternate days. So within these settings, especially for the small schools, you will have these specialized individuals coming into the school and alternate visitation and different times and different locations. Fostering and enhancing support to students with disabilities. Focus on inclusive education. Jamaica aspires to provide inclusive formal education for all school-age children, ranging from 3 to 18 years. So the government exercises supporting inclusive education to ensure all children, including those with special needs, have access to appropriate educational opportunities. Now we know that within the school, students with special needs are having a disability, oftentimes not having appropriate educational opportunities. So these plans are these specialized individuals and itinerant educators. They will compile a program or compile somewhat of a scheduled task or activity for students with special needs or having a disability, so that none is left behind and inclusivity is at the forefront. Now we look at special needs education services. The country focuses on identifying students for placement through multidisciplinary evaluation. What do we mean by multidisciplinary evaluation? Now, students are not only assessed in one area, but they are assessed in different areas, right? So that the evaluation process can be precise and students are catered to accurately. Special needs education is addressed in various ways, including support in the regular classroom, special classrooms in regular schools, and special needs are special education schools. So within these schools, there are some schools who we will have something called a special classroom, right? These spaces are spaces designed to foster students with disabilities and having them feel more comfortable in a natural setting. Overall, the itinerant services model, both international and locally, aims to promote inclusion by providing specialized support within general education settings, ensure that students with disabilities receive appropriate services without being segregated from their peers. So we know that within the general classroom, we have students with disabilities as support as opposed to those who does not express have a disability. So you will find that there are times when those with disabilities have to be isolated from the peers because they're having challenges. So what these services ensure is that these students are not isolated. They are also integrated into the activities, integrated into the environment, having working with the non-disabilities, and so that they can build on their skills and also feel supported holistically. Now the role of the teacher, special education teacher and general education teacher. The role of the teacher in the itinerant teacher and general education teacher. The role of the teacher in the itinerant service model. In the itinerant service education system model, both the special education teacher and the general education teacher crucial role in ensuring that students with special needs receive appropriate support while remaining in inclusive classroom settings. This is important because in a general classroom, those with a disability, teachers are not equipped, most teachers are not equipped to cater to these students. Hence, the reason for those the special education teacher who will come into these spaces and ensure that everything is so easy. So the students are being assessed, they work alongside the teacher to ensure that the activities that they give to the student is appropriate and they are well supported. Role of the special education teacher, known as an itinerant teacher. The special education itinerant teacher provides specialized support, and you notice how we specialized because it's not of the usual, right? These are plans that were made to cater to the students with disabilities, because all students with disabilities do not function in the same manner. So all students function on a spectrum. So based on their shortcomings or their need, they're being catered to accordingly. And services to students with disabilities while working collaboratively with general education teachers and other school staff. Now it is crucial to ensure that all individuals who interact with the students work in a collaborative effort. So nothing is being misjudged or the students do not feel as if they have any sense of confusion. So everything is done in unison. The teacher, the special education teacher, as well as the general education teacher, come in collaborative mode and ensure that students are well taken care of in an inclusive setting. Their primary responsibilities include direct student support. Now, provide individualized instruction to students on the individual education program or cycles like that. So the IEP is known as individualized education program. Why is this important? It is important because each IEP is structured to suit or to fit that student. So now, you cannot use one plan to cater to multiple students. It has to be a direct approach, right? Assessing the students' disability and challenges, and the plan is created based on those needs and challenges. Now we're looking at implementing specialized teaching strategies, and intervention is crucial that we utilize or implement different strategies so students can learn within these spaces, as well as intervention, right, and accommodation to support student learning. A student may be in the classroom and need certain type of, they cannot probably have a physical disability, and they cannot function probably in the same space or in the same space as others. Hence, probably a wheelchair chair, and that space is needed to have the wheelchair, accommodating the student back and forth smoothly, right, in a transitional manner. So the child may feel that kind of support and need to learn. Conducting ongoing assessments and progress monitoring to adjust instruction as needed, collaboration and consultation. Now, I often stress on collaboration and consultation, which is crucial as it relates to students with disabilities. You have to collaborate with those in the system, in the school setting, as well as the itinerant specialized individual, right? So that they can create a plan that is suitable for the students and not be disruption. Advising general education teachers on strategies for differentiation and classroom accommodation. Differentiation is important. As we know that students learn differently based on their different learning styles, right? We have the visual, we have learning, we have kinesthetic learning, auditory learning. So it is important that we focus on this term differentiation. We have to implement different strategies, different activities, utilizing an audio, for example, make sure that we implement a lot of visual aids, right? Vibrant colors to kind of attract and engage students, as well as helping them to learn how to gravitate to the content more accurately. Advising general education teachers on strategies for differentiation and classroom accommodation. So it is important that general education teachers are being informed of the different strategies that accommodate students. Providing professional development and guidance and working with students with disabilities. Working with parents, therapists, and administrators to ensure coordinating approach to the students' education. To ensure coordinating approach to the students' education. Promoting inclusion. Supporting students within the general education classroom to ensure they can access the same curriculum as their peers. Helping quantize classroom materials and assessment to fit the students' learning needs. Encouraging peer interaction and social skill development as this is needed, because when you're in the physical space, you will have students with a disability, those that do not have a disability, and then we find that they sometimes feel that the disability can feel that it's stand out and doesn't want to share or to interact with the peer. But what is important is that the classroom teacher and the general education teacher embraces inclusivity and that they incorporate or allow those with a disability as well as those who do not have a disability, working together collaboratively to complete the task. Role of the general education teacher. The general education teacher is responsible for overall classroom environment and ensuring that students with disabilities can participate effectively in classroom activities. Their key responsibilities include implementing inclusive practices, creating a welcoming and inclusive classroom environment for all students, differentiating instruction to meet diverse learning needs, as we stated earlier, using universal design for learning principles to make them accessible to students with varying abilities. Collaboration with the special education teacher, working closely with the itinerant special education teacher to implement accommodation and modification. Attending IEP meetings and contributing insights on student progress. This is quite crucial as the IEP meetings help to keep everyone abreast of the students' progress. Always think that we're transitioning from one academic, one performance and level, based on their performance, always they're transitioning. Those they need to implement another strategy to help the students, but they are growing and always they're functioning, having these programs and having the students working with these activities. So these meetings are important to keep everyone abreast and to ensure that everything is visible and elimination of confusion. Communication with parents and support staff to ensure student needs are met. So it is important and crucial to communicate with parents and support staff to ensure students' needs are met, because there are times when the special education teacher as well as the general teacher is in the classroom but the parents are unaware of what is happening. So they need to be informed so they can provide support without an external space for that students to get additional support that they need in an inclusive manner. So we're looking at classroom management and student engagement, managing behaviors in positive reinforcement strategies, encouraging cooperative learning and peer support, foster social inclusion, monitoring students also progress and providing feedback to the special education teacher. This is quite important because in a classroom setting of students, misbehaving and having different outbursts at some times, depending on the condition. So using positive reinforcement strategies is one way of keeping students to cooperate and to act accordingly. Collaboration between both parents for the itinerant model to be effective. Both the special education teacher and the general education teacher must work closely together by sharing instructional strategy to support student learning, communicating regularly about student progress and challenges, adjusting classroom routine and expectations to accommodate diverse needs. But this is quite important, as adjusting classroom routines and expectations. There are times when the plan is created, but it does not help the students to grow. Hence, an adjustment is needed. So, the students might be able to adjust to a particular activity so that the child can progress. Examples of institutions is the placement model local, the domain for the itinerant services, educational placement model is employed support students special needs within inclusive educational setting. This approach involves specialized education, traveling between schools to provide necessary services, ensuring that students can remain in general education classrooms while receiving tailored support. Several institutions have implemented this model effectively. Now, do you find that these itinerant services, education placement model, specialized individuals, they have to travel to different places, right, to render support to students because there might be a limited number of persons and hence they're needed in different spaces, so they have to have a set schedule so they can operate accordingly. Chatola Park Primary School is a prime example, located in Anatole. This school established a special education unit to cater to primary age children with learning and development challenges. The unit serves students from Chatola Park and other institutions in Western Kingston, providing support to the itinerant teachers who assist in mainstream settings. Now, this is important as the Chatola Park institutions cater to those in the urban area, right? Because there are many students at different places having disabilities, and there are different places where a bit far out of reach. Some were probably in rural areas, but having this specific center or place in the urban area to cater to those that are challenged. The School for the Blind is another example. This institution has a history of mainstreaming students with eyes put in the support of itinerant teachers. These educators travel to various schools to provide specialized assistance in enabling students with visual impairment to thrive in general education environment. The Michael University College is another example. The Department of Special Education. This department focuses on training special education professionals, including itinerant teachers, to meet the unique needs of children with exceptionalities. Graduates often serving roles that require traveling between schools to deliver specialized instruction and support. These examples illustrate Jamaica's commitment to inclusive education by utilizing the itinerant services model to ensuring that students with special needs receive appropriate support within the mainstream education